Hello everyone, welcome to the Geoecologist. I am Dr. Krishnanand. Today we are going to learn more on the denudational process, that is mass wasting. But before we go ahead, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and please share the videos with others as well. So now, after we have learned the previous two denudational processes, that is weathering and erosion, today we are going to discuss about the denudational process number 3 in geomorphology, that is process geomorphology, that is mass wasting. So what is this mass wasting and why is it called so? So let's understand the concept of mass wasting, and in earlier definition we already know that gravity is the major factor for this mass wasting. So now what we see here in this particular image, this was the image that I took in mountain areas of Kinnaur. What you see here, what is happening? So everybody who looks into this image will automatically say this is what is happening here, landslide, isn't it? But remember, landslide is happening, so two things are important here. One is that this material which is falling down here, this is first disintegrated. So when it was disintegrated, it was part of weathering. But when it was removed from its place and now it fell down here, it came to this particular base, right? So what happens? This took particular slope angle here. So when this slope is there, it means there is an influence of gravity here. The gradient of slope is important here. So this is the entire process, and removal from the position A to the position B, this is what we understand as the process of erosion. And here erosion is not happening because of water, ice, glacier, wind. Why is it happening here? It is happening because of this particular influence of this slope what we see here, right? So first what happened? The weathering happened, and weathering happened because of several reasons that we already know, because of physical reasons or chemical reasons, right? And then finally it weathered materials fell down across this entire slope. So this entire mass is being wasted. That is the main concept when we talk about mass wasting here, and this mass wasting type is known as landslide. So this word slide comes in the picture, right? We already know every year there are lots of landslides happening in different mountain regions of the world, especially in Himalayan region. We already know that. So this is part of mass wasting. So many times the water or rainfall is an influencing factor, but that influence is only at the primary stage, when it is weathering stage. When the rock particle is already weathered, it just facilitates that through this particular slope. That is what is important. So primarily mass wasting is under the influence of gravity. Water or ice or any other factor is just a facilitating factor, not the major factor or the functional factor. Here the functional factor is slope angle. So that is what is important. That is slope and gravity influence. So here again what we see is another hill area, and what we see is this particular mass movement happening. So mass wasting is the downhill movement of weathered material due to gravity. The term landslide is often used as synonym for mass wasting. So the most common form of mass wasting that we know is by the name of landslide. So but mass wasting is much broader term referring to all kinds of movement down the slope, not just landslide. So let's understand what are the different kinds of movement down the slope, not just what you know is by the name of landslide. So the next important thing is that movement by mass wasting can be either slow or rapid, isn't it? So if the material is coming down the slope, this material is now coming down the slope, so either it can come very fastly or it can come gradually, very slow. So what happens here is, for example, moving blocks of bedrock, okay, are called rock topples, rock slides, or rock falls. Now here is the catch. These are important terminologies that we need to remember, that is associated with moving of rocks in mass wasting. That is why many times multiple choice question can come like, which of the following is type of mass wasting? So it can be rock topples, rock slides, rock falls. All these are part of the mass wasting that you need to remember. So depending upon dominant motion of the blocks, so it all depends upon that it will topple or it will slide or it will fall. It will all depend upon that what is the dominant motion. So motion is fast or slow, how it is moving down the slope. So movements of dominantly liquid material are called flows. So obviously if there is a flow, when we say debris flow, lava flow, lahars flow, what is there? It is fluvial movement. It it is flowing. So dominantly fluid or liquid is important. So slow movements which are called creep. Remember, again, we have already talked about this erosional process where creeping was important, where the action was through this particular creeping happening in the desertic conditions where heavier rock fragments are there, which is just pushed along the surface. So creeping is along the surface, which is the slowest type. So remember, what we see here is creep, flows, slides, topples, falls. These words are important when we say mass wasting, either of slow type or rapid type. So that can be asked as a question. So now, rapid movement can be dangerous along the slope, as we know. That is what in terms of debris flows. So areas with steep topography, that is very steep gradient, and rapid rainfall, because rainfall will automatically what? It will facilitate the dissolution process, it will facilitate the weathering process, and gradually down the slope the material will come out. So there are many places in this world which are famous for this kind of flow. And remember the names, these examples: California coast, Rocky Mountain region, Pacific Northwest region, Himalayan region. All these regions of the world, that is what we are studying in the world physical geomorphology or geography. Remember, these are the regions of the world which are prone to this kind of dangerous debris flow. Then they particularly are susceptible to hazardous mass wasting events. So that is what we need to remember on the world map as well. Now, as we have studied about the factors influencing denudational process in the previous two processes, that is weathering and erosion, let's also understand what factors influence this mass wasting. So the first important factor, as we know that slope is important, so the strength of this slope, that is called slope strength, that is important here. Now, it is ultimately determined by two principal factors. This slope strength has two factors. What? Slope angle and strength of the underlying material. So one is this particular angle that we see. That is what it makes with this particular horizontal. So if this angle is acute angle, if this is close to 90 degree, if it is close to ground, so it all depends upon that. The second is this material that is of this slope. How is this material? Is it hard material? Is smooth material? So that is important. So slope angle and strength of the underlying material are two important factors that determine the slope strength. Now, gravitational force, that is this Fg. Remember what is Fg here? It is shown here, that is vertically downwards. So this is Fg, force of gravity. It is important. So it has two components. Remember, it has two components. One is called shear, the other is called normal. So where is shear? Can you locate it? This is called Fs. This is along the slope. Fs. This is called shear force along the slope. And vertically, the shear, that is at 90 degree to the shear, is this Fn, that is the normal. So normal is just vertical, that is here, vertically downwards to this particular shear. So that is important. So shear or driving force, it is also known as driving force, pushing the block down the slope. Normal is doing what? It is resisting. The force of friction is what is here. So it is resisting that force. So what will happen? Now it will all depend upon the balance of this shear and normal. If this is greater, then it will move faster. But if this is greater, it will stop this to move faster. So this is the balance between the shear and the normal that actually determines the gravitational force, that is Fg. So that is how the relationship of shear normal is called shear strength. So that is what we say, that shear strength of the slope is important when we talk about mass wasting. So remember this particular diagram, and by this diagram you can also explain when you're, for example, writing your answer. So that's important about slope strength. So looking into the further diagram, what we already know is this is gravity and it all depends upon Fn and Fs, that is shear and the normal. So what you see, different angles, just look at this. So what is happening? Going from 1 to number 2 to number 3, what is happening here? Now in the 1, which is greater, this Fn is greater. So it is holding on because this angle is now close to this horizontal. As the angle increases, now this reduces and this increases. So the probability of going down the slope starts increasing, and as it gets closer to the 90 degree, remember what happens? This shear increases rapidly. So this is how the material is now going down the slope. So this is how you can understand that proportionality of this particular movement, that is the shear force, depends upon the angle right? And also this particular material, because this material may be rough or may be smooth. So if it is rough, the friction is more, so it will obstruct this motion. So that is important here. Now, another important term that we need to remember when we are talking about this slope is called angle of repose. Now, this is something that we study in geology as well and geomorphology as well. Now, you have to remember one thing. If this is a slope, what you see here as a given mound, what happens? What is angle of repose? This particular angle, this is the slope and this is the horizontal plane. This angle of repose is what is important as slope angle. So what happens on this angle? The shear that we say, this Fs and this normal, it will depend upon this angle. If this angle increases, it means there is a probability that it will fall down fastly. So this angle of repose, that is the base and the height of the pile, continues to increase, but the angle of the sides remain the same. So if at a particular angle, remember this base keeps on increasing, and remember what happens? The angle of the sides remain the same. So angle remains the same, but base keeps on increasing. And remember this particular angle, what we say as the threshold value. So it all depends upon this value. If this value increases, if there is a value of angle more than this value, it means more probability of mass wasting, right? So that's why this angle of repose is important. So at this angle of repose, the base and height of the pile continues to increase. So this height is also increasing, base is also increasing, but angle remains the same. But as this angle increases, what will happen? There will be probability of more of this event triggering mass wasting. So there are different angle of reposes for different materials on Earth's surface. So here is the table. You can pause the video and you can actually note it down and you can learn. So Earth, that is soil, 30 to 45 degrees. So this is called the angle of repose. Means it is the safe zone. In this zone there is less of landslide, there is very less of mass wasting event. But if it increase from this, that is 45 degree, there is more probability. Granite, it is 35 to 40. Gravel, that is crushed stone, it is 45 degree. Gravel, that is natural with sand, 25 to 30 degree. Sand dry, it is 34 degree. Sand water filled, it is 15 to 30 degree. Now here is the catch. So dry sand has more angle of repose than the wet sand. It means dry sand, if you increase the angle after 34 degrees, then it disintegrates quickly along the slope. And then snow is 38 degrees. So what you need to do is practice this particular table, pausing the video. You can write it down and you can keep revising it, that many times multiple choice questions can carry this important factor that is called angle of repose, which is related to mass wasting denudation process in the process geomorphology section. Now, as you look into this particular diagram, that is mass wasting events often have a trigger. So what you see, this particular A and B, as you see this angle is not steep, it is stable. As you see this C is more angular, so there is moderately stable. And as you see this particular angle is more steep, it is least stable. But remember, there are certain triggers. What are those triggers? Trigger basically means what leads to this particular disintegration here, that this material falls down here. So this is what we call as trigger. So trigger can be anything like rapid snow melt, intense rainfall, earthquake, volcanic eruption, storm waves, rapid stream erosion, human activities like such as new construction of road, deforestation, overgrazing. So remember, these are just triggers, but these are not the slope factor. So when we say mass wasting, it can have a trigger. It means something can trigger here. You can throw a boulder and it attacks a bigger boulder and it topples down the surface. But the mass wasting is basically about this toppling down the surface, this process of coming along that slope. That is what we study as mass wasting. So I hope your concept is clear regarding the difference between trigger and mass wasting event in itself. Now, this is the diagram which you can see, that is types of mass wasting where it is represented. So there are various names. One is called landslide, as we know. So it is rotational landslide. It means the material is now coming like this, rotating and then falling down the slope. So that is rotational landslide. Then there is translational landslide. So it's not just coming this direction, but it is also moving sideways. Then it is block slide. So these blocks are sliding along the surface. That is important. Then we have rock fall. So fall is falling directly from the cliff. That is important. Rock topple is bouncing and falling down. That is what rock topple is there. Debris flow. So again, it is a flow. It means fluvial action is happening along this particular stream channel. Debris avalanche. So the avalanches are part of another movement that is very fast. So it disintegrates completely. Entire slope is failed here. So mostly in glaciated areas, we have snow avalanches, or in rocky areas you have debris avalanches. Then we have earth flow, so lots of rainfall where it is there, so lots of earth flow is there. Soil is now dripped into completely water and it flows down the slope. Then what we have is creeping. Creeping is the slowest kind of movement. Like trees on these slopes also tend to move with the slope gradually, and it tends to bend in roots. That is known as creeping. And then there is lateral spread as well. So all these are important mass wasting types. So you can pause the video here and you can once again look back at this particular types of different mass wasting events. Now in detail, let's understand this slurry, that is wet flow as well as the dry flow. So what happens when it is wet and slow? It is called solifluction sheets or solifluction lobes. So remember, these terminologies many times are asked in the question. So solifluction is what? It is slurry that is wet, but it is slow in nature. It is not fast. So that is important. Then what we have is wet and fast. So when it is fast, it is called mud flow. So solifluction is slow type. Mud flow is the faster variety of this particular, where it is more of wet and fastness involved. Then when it is grains, remember here it is not grainy, it is just soil, right? But when it is granular, dry, what happens? The word is dry but slow, so it is creeping here. So what has happened? These grains are gradually creeping. So what you see, this trunk of the tree along the hill slopes, if you have ever seen, it tends to bend. Why? Because remember, this root is now going down the slope, but stem is pointing upwards toward the sun. That is called phototropism. So there is a balance between geotropism and phototropism that it tries to maintain. So these are the examples where on the slope you find these bending tree trunks as well. Then faster one of them is what we see is avalanche. So avalanche can happen of the debris material as well, and in the glaciated areas of the entire glacier as well. So this is when we say the material is actually in the form of slurry or in the form of grains. So these are important terminologies to remember. Now to summarize, what you can see is type of movement and material involved. All right. So in fall, what happens? Rock is there, so rock fall. Soil is there, so soil fall. In slides, rotational translational slides can happen. So rock slump, block area, rock slide. In soil, what you see? Soil slump, block debris slide. Then flows. So there are slow flow and fast flow. In slow, what you see is rock creeping happening, soil creep happening, earth flow happening. But when it is fast, it is debris flow or debris avalanche. That is important here, or mud flow. And when it is complex, it means it is combination of two or more types of the above that we study. So this is one table that you can draw for yourself and remember the various types on the basis of fast moving material along the slope or slow moving material, depending upon what material is there. And one more thing that is important here, when we say something is falling, it basically means it is falling off the cliff. It is not touching the surface. If it is touching the surface while it is falling down, it basically means either it is slide or it is glide, but it is not fall. For a fall, it has to be falling directly on the ground. That is why it is called fall. And at last, there are some important terms to remember. So volcanic mud flows, as we have already learned in the volcano process, and volcanic landforms. Remember, volcanic mud flows are called lahars. Then the word mudslide is an illegal word for academics. Many times people use this mudslide, but remember, it should be mud flows, not slide, because mud is a different material. It does not slide, it flows, it is heavier, right? Then frost heaving is another action that happens. So what happens if this is the surface and subsurface freezes? So what happens when it freezes? Its volume increases and it pushes the upper material. So what happens if there is something here on the upper slope? Then it is pushed up and then it flows down the slope. So that is what frost heaving happens here, right? In the largely the cooler climates or the periglacial areas. And at the base of most of the cliff, there is an accumulation of this fallen material. So what happens? The material which falls down is now accumulated at the base of this particular slope. That is called talus. So that is called talus cone or talus fan, as we know. So that is what is important to remember in mass wasting. So now, when we have understood about mass wasting, coming lectures, we learn about the theories related to landforms. So stay tuned. All the best wishes.